Sometimes people are not revealing their authentic selves. They are revealing their pompous self, their prideful self. They're revealing every other part of them that has not to do with authenticity. It's almost as if all these things that they have created, which is not even the best of who you are yet. I mean, can you imagine if God has created this with you? Can you imagine how much more you can create? But they are already buried in it. They are already buried in it because they just think, well, this is the best to come, or people now respect me. There are all of these external factors. And so therefore, you are tagging yourself primarily as a CEO, which you are, but that's not all there is to you. Yes, you are CEO is a part of the things that your authenticity, your identity, your calling has helped you to become. But for instance, that's not your name, as an example. And so you don't need to shrink from your authentic self if you connect a person with your authentic self. But please be very careful. You need to find, if you don't know this authentic self that we're discussing, you've got to learn. Maybe come into a session with me, or I recommend coming to a session with me to be able to figure it out, so that you don't go around thinking that you are revealing your authentic self, but you are really not revealing your authentic self. Does that make sense? So once you do that, you share all about you. If the person is still feeling intimidated by the things that you have, that is a them problem, not is a them problem. It's not a you problem at all. Because what you have is what you have, and you cannot. So, but there's a way to say it, but at the same time, what you have is what you have. Like, you cannot unhave what you have. So one of the biggest mistakes, as I close, is that a lot of times, a lot of women think that the kind of men that can handle them are the men that they meet at their events, at board meetings, the men that they meet at these big, glorious events. But a lot of those times, a lot of those men as well are covering up things, are covering up identity issues with all of those bogus titles, and they do not have and have not built, at least at this time, the capacity to be able to carry what it is that you have and lead you. You've got to understand too that a man who can lead you will not necessarily be found in one of the places that you think you're going to find him. It's true. And that's one of the biggest things. So you see women who saying, oh, I dated this guy, we were good together on paper, but this is how, yeah. Because he wore a suit and is carrying a big briefcase and is the CEO of one company, doesn't have it, doesn't mean he has the capacity to lead you. And that's why I was speaking about a man's CV. There's a video I have on this channel about a man's life CV and all that. And it all came from this: which kind of man should we be looking at that can lead us as successful women? They're not men who you think sometimes should be leading you. That sometimes are men who you're not even thinking about. Yeah, sometimes they are. They're men that you're not even thinking about. Because it's not the built muscles and it's not the gym routine and all those things are good, they're for personal benefits, but those are not the things that are necessarily going to be needed and necessary. They're not going to be needed and necessary during the rainy days when you really need leadership over the global conglomerate that you're leading, or the global church you're leading. Like, you just need more than a man's fine looks and what he carries and how he carries himself, like himself rather. Those are not, like, it's just the features that a lot of women use to pick a man who should marry them, who should be in a relationship with them, is part of the problem.